بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهن 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا ذلك أمر الله أنزله إليكم ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويعظم له أجرا أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضاروهن لتضيقوا عليهن وإن كن أولات حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن فإن أرضعن لكم فآتوهن أجورهن وأتمروا بينكم بمعروف وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له أخرى لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها سيجعل الله بعد عسر يسرا وكأين من قرية عتت عن أمر ربها فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات ليخرج الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات من الظلمات إلى النور ومن يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا يدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا قد أحسن الله له رزقا الله الذي خلق 7 سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن يتنزل الأمر بينهن لتعلموا أن الله على كل شيء قدير وأن الله قد أحاط بكل شيء علما.
As the gender war rages on, in order to keep the peace, we must discuss the exact facts. Welcome to Exactly. I'm your host, Saad Imam. Remove your shoes and enter upon your right foot upon the right state of mind, bi'idhnillah. Topic: the pitfalls of not lowering the gaze. The pitfalls of not lowering the gaze. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, brother Jihad. Now, lowering the gaze does not mean literally to look down, okay? Lowering the gaze implies that you are diverting your sight, your vision, away from what is forbidden to gaze upon, okay? Not necessarily looking down, but diverting your focus, your gaze from what is not lawful to gaze upon. Okay. So Allah Ta'ala tells the believing men in the Quran, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Qul lil mu'minina, Qul lil mu'minina, that, and this is a command to the Rasul Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, to tell the believing men, okay? Qul lil mu'minina, say to the believing men, Yaghuddu min absarihim, okay, to that they should lower their gaze, okay, that they should lower part of their gaze or lower their gaze, basically divert their focus from what is forbidden from them to see, okay. And this is a part of a longer ayat, but I'm using this part because this is relevant for our topic. So lowering the gaze is a wise act, whether you are a Muslim or not a Muslim. It is called discipline. It is called discipline, and discipline can uh, carry you and assist you and help you in all facets of life. You must remain or maintain a level of discipline, because if you do not maintain discipline and do not lower your gaze, you become desensitized to those matters that are haram. You become desensitized regarding those matters that are haram. And haram, based on the hukam taklifi, uh, this is something that if you engage in it, you are sinning. If you avoid it, you are blessed. So avoid, you know, practicing lowering the gaze is a blessed act. Okay, it's a blessed act and it's commanded upon the believer. But even if a non-believer practices it, it strengthens them in a disciplined way. Okay. So if you do not lower your gaze, you become desensitized. Okay, you become desensitized. And desensitized meaning if you are watching porn and things like that, if you watch these things, you become desensitized, as in, the treasure that a woman is, the you know, the treasures, the zinah that Allah Ta'ala gave her, uh, it becomes like, it becomes like a Tuesday, become like every other day, any other day, There's nothing special about what this woman has, because why? Because you are looking at all these other women. You're looking at all these other women, therefore you become desensitized. My biological father, who was not a Muslim, he was a licensed Baptist minister. He said that he took a job working for some mafia types. I don't know if I think they were Italian or something, Eastern European, whatever. So he started working for these mafia types inside of this strip club. And he said that working in that place desensitized him from being with his woman at home. Now, he had a really young one, being my dad, way older than I was, he had a young one. And he said it desensitized him. In his words, I'm around these perfect women, during the day. I go home to my woman. It's hard for me to perform. Okay. And that's what I mean by desensitizing. Nothing special anymore when you do not lower your gaze. Nothing special. So brothers have asked me before, man, what can I do to increase my potency with my wife and things like that? I say you have to fast away from the haram. Now, I ain't asked them their business. I say you have to fast away from the haram. Fast away from it. I say because if you're desensitized, your wife won't measure up, and a lot of wives do, but your wife won't measure up to the variety. And men are about variety because we are very visual. So men are about variety. So your single wife, no matter how beautiful, will not measure up to that variety. Michael Jordan had a beautiful wife. Kobe Bryant had a beautiful wife. None of that stopped them from doing what they did. Tiger Woods had a beautiful wife. None of that stopped them. Matter of fact, Tiger Woods would venture down. He would go down. He would go to Waffle House and stuff like that and find waitresses and things like that. Kobe Bryant, messing with some lady that worked the front desk at the hotel. Didn't even supposed to be in his room. She went up to his room, for a reason, and things like that. So again, with that being said, this is the way men are. It doesn't matter if you're the best looking woman in the world. A woman that doesn't beat a woman in the room, and it doesn't beat strange. Best woman you are, in the eyes of many men or most men, you can win all kind of contests. It doesn't beat variety. you as an individual. So, women, I warn you all the time about practicing hubris. Hubris is when you overvalue yourself. Okay, if you overvalue yourself, then uh, you won't quite understand, the nature of a man. New beats best. New beats best. You can have the best car on the market. Wait until they come out with the new one. Just wait until they come out with the new one. So that's why you have to fast away from the haram, fast away from uh, oogling at women, because why? You're going to be desensitized. And you won't appreciate what Allah Ta'ala gave you at home. You won't appreciate it. Okay, the brother Jihad says, a Baptist minister working inside of a mafia strip club. That's my pops, man. He's passed away now. But yeah. Well, Baptist ministers, man. I grew up in the church, so that doesn't. I just mentioned that, just to add a little flavor to the conversation. But yeah, yeah. Baptist ministers were some of the most. I ain't saying just Baptists. I'm saying Christian ministers. Period. Were some of the most vile, corrupt individuals that I know. Growing up. You know. And Brother Jihad said there's a joke in there somewhere. Hey, look. Let me go ahead and finish it for you. Okay. So my pops working in that place around these women. Okay. Working that place around these women, he said it messed up his performance at home. It made it harder for him to do it at home. Now, at the age of, I imagine he was in his 60s. He had a real young one. I don't even know if, I know he had one that was pregnant. I don't know if it was his. Okay. But then he had a real young one on the day he died. He died Kevin Samuel style. He died Kevin Samuel style, except that he didn't die. He didn't die, in the woman, on top or on bottom of the woman. He didn't die in the bed. He died on the kitchen floor, popping Viagra. That's my pops. He died popping Viagra. Okay, trying to make himself right for that woman, and that just adds to my my warning, my reprimand of men that tend to put themselves in spaces where they're looking at something that's not common. They're looking at something that's not common, especially something that's not at home. I don't even carry pictures of my wife inappropriate on my phone, because I feel like I'll lose my phone, or I'll take it in for repair, and you got some stranger looking at my wife pictures and stuff like that. So I don't even carry anything like that. So again, my dad was desensitized, so he went to the next extreme, and we're going to talk about that too. He went to the next extreme, and he ended up having a stroke, or a heart attack, or a little bit of both. From that. So anyway, trying to keep up. So anyway, too much access to extremes. Too much access to extremes. Like, for instance, a brother used to work concierge at a hotel here in San Antonio, and at that time, Dominique Wilkins had a year or two with the San Antonio Spurs. He said Dominique Wilkins, who was a married man at that time, took a different woman upstairs every night. A different woman upstairs every night. From what I hear, I don't think it's just sports players, but I heard specifically for sports players, when they walk into the hotel lobby, there's a whole lobby. It's like a buffet of women. A buffet of women in the lobby, and you just pick the one or the two or the three or the four that you like, and you take them upstairs. They all down. Okay. So we can't imagine, very, only 1% of men can imagine that type of pressure. I heard the girl from Just Pearly Things. She said that her dad never cheated on her mom, you know, but her dad never had 100, young women throwing themselves at him every day. And if he did, she wouldn't blame him if he fell short, because that's a lot of pressure for men. That's a lot of pressure. I tried to explain to my wife and my wives in the past, I tried to explain to them that we're under a lot of pressure. I'm ugly, but I get action. I'm ugly, but I get action. I have a conversation. I have a way I carry myself. Not the best looking, not the best anything. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even have I don't have the mark of the beast, the 666. I don't have none of that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I got something that gets me some action. I get some action. So, and because I get action, I'm under pressure. I'm under pressure. So I need something at home. I need something at home to combat that, to deter that. I don't need to come off the battlefield and got to dodge landmines and rocket fire when I get home. That's another story, another podcast perhaps. Okay, but too much access leads to extremes. From what I heard, that when women are throwing themselves at you and you have your pick of the litter, you'll start to get bored with them. And I've heard this before. You start to get bored with them, and then you'll start to stray. You'll start to stray. Pretty soon, you'll even start contemplating the LG HD TV 4K HDMI crew. You'll start to, start contemplating one of them. I mean, the shaitan, if he got you, if a shaitan got you by an inch, he'll take you a foot. If he got you by a foot, he'll take you a yard. He got you by a yard, he'll take you a mile. And that's the way the shaitan is. So don't give him anything, because, just like Eddie Murphy said, give him a rope. Give him a rope, he want to be a cowboy, So shaitan, if you give him a little rope, he'll turn you into a cowboy. Just leave him alone. Leave him alone. So too much access will bring you to the point where you'll start contemplating things outside of that. Man, they got rumors about, like, Mike Tyson was, and I don't know what he's doing now, but he was known to be a womanizer. They tried to put rumors on him, okay, about the LG HDTV 4K HDMI. They got a lot of different people. They tried to put that on Justin Timberlake, and they try to put that on a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know if it's true or not. But nevertheless, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's kind of like what that guy say? Who was that? Ah, man, I forget. He said, "Oh, this is from The Office. Creed from The Office. He said that he's in his time he made love to a lot of women. He said sometime in the mud. He said it's possible that a dude slipped in there, and that's a joke, but it ain't funny to everybody, And that's usually what happened when you make love in the mud. A dude could slip in, so you got to stay out of that mud, symbolically. Nevertheless, Brother Jihad said, I live by the state fairgrounds in Dallas. I've been staring at the ground for a month straight. Yeah, man. But if you like me, I'm a foot man. I like women feet. So pretty women feet, pretty feet on women. Anyway, nevertheless, she can look like my Uncle Clarence in the face. If she got pretty feet, might have a chance. But nevertheless, yeah, I understand that. SubhanAllah. Okay, getting back to the Viagra, speaking of my pops, there's a lot of ED going on, a lot of erectile dysfunction. And they say that's because many people have done studies that's because men are looking at too much porn. They're looking at stuff they shouldn't be looking at, and it desensitizes them again. Okay, it's too much variety again. and it's causing them problems. It's causing them problems. Now, um, I pray Allah Ta'ala. That's one of my. I pray Allah Ta'ala never have to, because I'm not a medicine type dude. I don't like taking medicine for allergies and stuff like that. My allergies been better since I changed my diet. Alhamdulillah. Maybe I'm allergic to. See, a lot of times we're allergic to food and food additives. We just don't know. A brother took his child in for allergy test, found out he was allergic to a lot of stuff. So again, my allergies are way better now since I changed the way I eat and stuff like that. So, but like I said, that ED, erectile dysfunction, comes because we are, we're overwhelmed, man. We're overwhelmed, and they said, people that's frequently watch porn, they experience stuff like this. They experience, it takes more and more of an extreme uh, to reach first base. Now it takes more and more of an extreme, and that's why you see this Blue Chew and Viagra and these other ones. I forget the name. No, these other ones, man. That's what you see all day long. Dudes talking about rhino horn, and they say that something else will be an aphrodisiac. It influences you or encourages you to make the juice, or what have you. So again, lowering the gaze is very important because you can avoid the ED thing. If you just stop doing what you're doing, man, they got people that look at that stuff to get right with their wife. A brother told me, he said, man, I just do it to get right with my. I said, well, you can't justify it. You can't justify it. Can't justify it. You know what I'm saying? If it's haram, it's haram. There's no doing of the haram, in order to justify something else. So anyway, self-deception. See, not lowering the gaze produces a deception of yourself. Okay? Uh, those women that you see in those jeans. Now, I mentioned this before long ago. Uh, in construction, I hired a girl to work on the job, and her job was to be like a gopher. Perhaps go get a tool, bring a tool, organize the tools, keep the job site clean, go for lunch so we ain't got to stop, bring the lunch to the job, whatever. Okay. So she's on the job. And if she wanted to do more than that, she would have to work her way up to that. I started painting the cut in, on a wall with a paintbrush, the part that a roller couldn't reach. I started doing that. That was my first, job in construction long ago, 94 or 95, early 95. My first job in construction. I was working on telephone poles before that, and or at the same time as that, and then now I know how to build a house from the ground up. So anyway, so she's on the job, and this Hispanic girl passed by, and just so happened that this girl was a lesbian. She was a lesbeing. She was a lesbian, and she said that's not her shape. I'm looking around like, what do you mean? That's her. She said, no, that's not her shape. That's the jeans. That's the pants. That's the jeans she wearing. I said, what do you mean? Because I had no idea what she was talking about. She said, they're making the pants now. The cut of them is shaping the woman. So all she has to do is snatch herself inside of it, and it gives her a certain shape. Now, see, I never thought about that. Because, see, if I was frequenting, strange women and looking at their shapes outside of their clothing, then I would be more like, man, what happened? Hold on, hold up. Did you shapeshift? You know, you would think like that. Okay. Nevertheless, she said that's not her, and I don't know if she was hating on the girl. The girl passing by the job site, so I don't know if she was hating on her. I don't know what was going on. This is long time ago. Man, it could have been 20 years ago today. Anyway, so this is a long time ago. Um, she said that's not her. She said that's the cut of the jeans, you know. And I'm like, wow, subhanallah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, brother Idris. So that like that little conversation right there made me think like, wow, man, the deception is real. And like I said, this about 20 years ago. The deception is real. So if the jeans are cut to look that way, then you're deceiving yourself by not lowering your gaze. You're deceiving yourself because it's all deception. The makeup, the lashes, the everything, it's all deception. One woman said, because they took the fat out of my belly and put it in my butt, and BBLs are the, ooh man, that is so dangerous. The plastic surgeons say that is the most dangerous surgery a person can have because of certain veins and certain nerves that are in the buttocks area. They say, man, it can go bad, like bad, real fast. Go south real fast. So anyway, nevertheless, woman said they took the fat out of my stomach and put it in my butt, so it's all me. It's all me. Like subhanallah. Yeah. So okay. So anyway, you're deceiving yourself because of the cut of those jeans and the cut of those leggings and whatever else they're wearing. You think there's something there. You'll be highly disappointed. You'll be highly disappointed. I mean, you should be disappointed in yourself anyway if she's a stranger. But nevertheless, you'll be highly disappointed, man. You'll be like, what? Now I'm a sinful idiot. Not only I'm an idiot, I'm a sinful idiot. You know? So you'll be deceiving yourself by, being tempted by these things that are not what they seem to be. They are not, man, you know how disappointed I would be? If I got with a woman strictly because I thought she had, now some of them, you can see they got something. They got that, because they don't hardly wear anything. You can see they got something, But nevertheless, with the jeans and things like that, man, it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell for me right now because that less being hit me to what was going on. That's not her, Anyway, so Brother Jihad says lowering the gaze makes you more attractive, but society will call you beta. Oh well, society can fly a kite. That's the nice way of saying it. Yeah, that's the nice way of saying it. Nevertheless, continuing, if you're single, looking at looking at the forbidden, the haram things, okay, ignites an energy that if you have no way of satisfying that energy, you have no way of satisfying that drive or that energy that's ignited. You have no way of quenching that thirst that's been developed. It'll come out sideways. For everyone that denied themselves their nature, it came out sideways. It's with the Catholic priests, with the nuns, all that type of stuff. The nuns up in there, they lesbians. The priests are getting at the nuns. The nuns are getting at the priests. The nuns are selling the kids to the priests. All that's happening, man. It's bigger than the priest touching kids. It's bigger than that. I know for a fact that the nuns are often there practicing this and that, and I've seen documentaries about how people were treated inside of those convents. I know people personally in my own family that went through the Catholic conundrum, of trying to be righteous while you ain't got no clothes on. You know what I'm saying? I know it. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Ayub. So past that, if you're single and you're looking at porn or not lowering your gaze in public and stuff like that, you're going to ignite something. You're going to ignite something in yourself that you have no way of satisfying. Now it's going to come out sideways. It's going to come out sideways. Okay. Now Muhammad Sallallahu said what? He said, you know, if you're out in public and a woman arouses you, go home to your wife because she has the same thing that woman has. Now imagine you don't have a wife at home. How are you going to quench that thirst? It'll come out sideways. The whispers of shaitan become sweeter, and you know that's what's going to happen, man. You know, you're going to lean more toward just satisfying that animal instinct because you don't have an avenue. You know, you don't have an avenue, and that's really, really dangerous. Okay, and it will cause you harm. It will cause you harm, not just spiritually, physically. It will cause you harm. You know, I know brothers that were, you know, Muslim, and Allahu Alam, they might be still Muslim today, but they got a dog in the house, staying with their girlfriend. Got a dog in the house, staying with their girlfriend, and post it on social media, like with no shame, you know, with no shame. So anyway, if you're married, okay, if you're married, you're producing unrealistic standards and expectations for your wife that she won't be able to achieve most of the time. Okay, you know, Patrice O'Neal has a funny joke. He said he was watching some of that stuff, and he's a kafir, was a kafir. He's dead now. You know, his body submitted to Allah. So, he said he was watching this guy said count backwards from 30. He told the lady, you know, and they had like a whole deal. I'm not gonna go into detail. He said he tried it. He told his girl count backwards from 3. Hurry. You know, that type of thing. So, he's watching this thing. He said he gave the guy a standing ovation, you know, at the end of the little video, whatever. He said he tried it with his girl, and it's 1, 2, 3, whatever, you know, 3, 2, 1. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that he watched this thing, and he wanted to try to mimic it, you know. He wanted to try to emulate it. He couldn't. He couldn't because, see, all that is unreasonable expectations. And I'm going to tell you, it's quite violent. It's quite violent. People don't, I've been married like 20 times. People in general don't function like that. You know, they don't, that stuff is lights, camera, action. People don't function like that. So you're setting unrealistic expectations for your wife. And now your wife is not satisfying you because you're on some shaitan type time because you can't lower your gaze. You can't lower your gaze. I'm not above it. I'm not above anything. I'm not above anything. I ask Allah Ta'ala to guide me, and especially, which is a big problem today with social media, people putting their sins out front and center, posting their sins, consciously cursing in their typing. They curse, which is unbefitting of a believer. They consciously curse. They're not slipping. You don't slip on the keyboard and curse. They're consciously cursing, consciously posting their sins, constantly, you know, whatever they do, constantly, consciously. You know, they have no shame. So I especially ask Allah Ta'ala to do not strip me of shame, because shame is the last rung on the ladder of Iman. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Sallallahu said, if you do not feel shame, then do as you please. If you don't feel shame about a thing, then do as you please. That's exactly what happens. You lack shame, and that is the last level of Iman. That is the last level of Iman. So anyway, so we continue. Again, if you're married, you're setting unrealistic expectations for your wife that she may not be able to satisfy or fulfill. You're setting unrealistic standards for your wife. She may not be into all that, man. You know what I'm saying? She may not be into all that. Because, you know, you with your wife, it's it's would depend on what madhab you follow, but nevertheless, there are things you can do halal, you know, and then there are things that are haram, and you might say, well, it's my wife, so better than doing it with a stranger, but it's still a haram thing. You know what I'm saying? So again, you're putting yourself in these freaky spaces, man. It's gonna be real hard for you. So it's better to lower your gaze and practice discipline and strengthen yourself spiritually. You know. Um, Again, Muhammad Sallam said, if you are out in public and a woman arouses you, and we see them all the time, like, man, oh boy, y'all are, that woman is amazing. You'll see them all the time. But your job is to go home to your wife. Okay? That's your job. Go home to your wife. That brings about another subject. When the wife is, you come home and she got the eye black on, she got camouflage on, she crawling through the house on her knees and elbows, say, oh man, I gotta go to war with this woman. I just left the streets. The streets were calling in a sultry mermaid type voice. It was the mermaid siren. And I come home and this woman got on a backpack, got a water bladder, I mean, she looked like G.I. Jane. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to go to war at home. So your wife should not be making the streets or the appeal of the streets alluring to you. And how she does that, she makes the home life, almost unbearable, or at least uncomfortable. So again, that's a two-headed snake right now. Two-headed snake, which one you want to get bit by? You can get bit by the streets, you can get bit at home. They say, well, it's better to get bit at home. It's best not to get bit. That's what I would say. So anyway, Allah Ta'ala not only commanded the man to lower his gaze, but he also commanded the woman. Allah Ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Waqul, okay, lil mu'minati yaghdudna min absarihinna, okay, absarihinna, that and say to the believing women that they should also divert their vision. They should also divert their vision or lower their gaze. Okay, so Allah Ta'ala tells the men and tell the women. Now, women are not as visually stimulated like men are. Now, women see what they like, but they are more stimulated by what they hear than what they see. Okay. They're more stimulated by what they hear than what they see. They say that's why men lie and women wear makeup. Because men are more visual. Not saying women are not visual. I'm saying men are more visual. So women tend to artificially manufacture and, and how do I say, enhance themselves. I don't know what men started that trend. I mean, still a lot of us out here that like natural. Natural, right? Ponytail tied to the back. That's me. That's me, baby. I don't care about all that looking like a damn rooster. I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm natural, man, come home, they got some lingerie, some Victoria's Secretions on, silk this and satin that and lace and all that, man. Look, put on a t-shirt. That's all. I mean, that's me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need all that. I don't need all that, man. I don't need nothing Victoria's Secrets. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Get a Walmart t-shirt. But that's just me and a few other men that I know. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, women are told to lower their gaze. Men are more visual. Women are more, receptive to what they hear. So they say that's why women wear makeup and men lie. Because women love the fantasy. And that's what next week is, saying the quiet part out loud. When you're honest with women, what happens? We'll talk about that next week, inshallah. Saying the quiet part out loud. So nevertheless, women are told to lower their gaze. Now you say, well, if men are more visual than women, women are not completely not visual, but if men are more visual than women, then why do women have to lower their gaze? Well, see what happens when women don't lower their gaze. It's like the website Plenty of Fish. They think it's plenty of fish in the sea. It's not. If you don't think you think it is plenty of fish in the sea, talk to those sisters that have been looking for a husband for years and years, 20 years looking for a husband. Can't find anybody. And the whole time they were away from the one that they divorced, they start contemplating taking him back. I've had ex-wives propose to me. Would you marry me again? Oh, no. I said, I'm not trying to be mean either. You know me and I know you. And we ain't it. I mean, honestly, I've had ex-wives, even they won't admit it, contemplated marrying me again. Okay? So, but, that ship has sailed. And speaking of ships, let's go move to the fishing boats. They think it's plenty of fish in the sea. And, that's not what's happening. There's a lot of fish. Not all fish are edible like that. And not all fish are pleasing to the palate. Okay? Not all fish are pleasing to the palate. No one wants to eat a rockfish or a dogfish or some other fish that are out there that people don't want to eat. Some fish are poisonous, especially if you eat one of their eggs, like an alligator gar eggs and stuff like that. Stuff is poisonous. So anyway, yeah, there's plenty of fish, but not necessarily the edible ones that are pleasing to the palate. So what happens when women don't lower their gaze? They start to look at the gray sweatpants, and I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard of guys stuffing their pants, they got a thing on TikTok, these guys do called a banana, no, not a banana. It's called a cucumber prank. So these women that don't lower their gaze are falling for this cucumber prank when decent women would call the police. Decent women would call the police on that guy. But there are women that are falling for that prank because they're just indecent people. They're just indecent people. The guy that's doing the prank is indecent, and the woman that's falling for it is indecent. Kafirs are like dogs. They meet in the middle of the road, and they'll have sex in public and stuff like that. So believers, may Allah Ta'ala protect us from that. So a woman that don't lower her gaze, she's open to guys hitting her DMs, telling her how beautiful she is. And she'll say, thank you. And she'll put a like by the comment and stuff like that. And then the husband sees it. He like, what is this? Oh, I just don't want to be rude. Well, you ain't got to be anything. You're supposed to be my wife, So you want by being rude to him. I was like, when the last time he paid your bills? Matter of fact, I'm a DM him, from your account and tell him to put some money on these bills. Since you're sharing my time with him, you're smiling and liking and all that type of stuff because you're seeking attention. You think there's a lot of fish out there? There's sharks in that water. There's barracuda in that water. There's alligator gar in that water. There are piranhas in that water. Yeah, you think it's plenty of fish. You think it's plenty of fish. And that's the problem that we have, especially with the social media thing. So Allah Ta'ala tells the women also to divert their gaze or their vision from things that are haram to gaze upon. He tells the women too, because the women see they got like that. Then they start being unappreciative of their husband. They start looking to what their friends got, thinking that their husband is not, he's not worthy, or he's not appreciating her worth even. They start looking toward what other people got, what they call the Joneses. This is what happens when women don't lower their gaze. They talking to their friends, they cackling like hens. Oh, my husband bought me this, my husband bought me that, and she's looking at you like you ain't buy me anything. Well, you'll be like Ismail alayhi salam's first wife. You'll get changed. The threshold at the door get changed, and go and see if the welcome mat in front of somebody else. Go be the welcome mat in front of somebody else's home, and we'll see how that works out for you. Because that your friend that got that, maybe her husband has expendable income. Your friend that got that, maybe she's the type of woman that the husband felt she was worthy of that extra. That's beyond, basic and mandatory maintenance. Maybe her husband felt that. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps if you reach that level, you too will get that extra. It can go any kind of way. Maybe I can't afford it. And if I can't afford it, you're going to make me feel bad. I'm paying all your bills. You have shelter, food, and drink, and you have clothing. I'm taking care of you. And because I don't have as much money as your friend's husband, now you're unappreciative. See, that's what happens when a woman doesn't lower her gaze. She opens up herself to other possibilities. And it'll make her ungrateful, to you. Okay? And unappreciative. So again, Islam is not meant to be a spice in the West melting pot. It's not meant to be a spice in the West melting pot. Now, why am I saying that? I'm saying because we are around all kinds of fitna visual fitna. We're around all kinds of fitna visually. Hijab is a standard, okay? Hijab is a standard that if Islam was in the ruling, Kufar would not be allowed to walk around in leggings and hoochie shorts and stuff like that like people do today. I mean, just they're at children's games with their butt hanging out. I mean, almost 2 inches of cheeks hanging out their shorts. They're at children's games, These are parents, and there's no governing body to stop them. Dudes will walk around with their butt out these days, you know what I'm saying? So there's no governing body to stop them, but as believers, we know hijab is a standard. So why am I seeing sisters' butt cheeks? Why am I seeing sisters jave or their cleavage? Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Matik McCall. So why am I seeing sisters' cleavage? Why am I seeing sisters' hair and neck and ears and all that type of stuff? Why is a sister, got the lashes on and the weave and things like that? Hijab is a standard. Now the sisters, they're quick to tell you that you should lower your gaze. You know what I'm saying? You need to lower your gaze. So if you say, why are you not in hijab? They say, lower your gaze. Well, those two are not interchangeable. Those two are complementary. You should cover yourself decently with proper hijab. I mean, Brother Matik, you should cover yourself properly with proper hijab, and I'll lower my gaze if I happen to see something that I'm forbidden to gaze upon. Okay? But why are you dressed like a whole kafir, dressed like a whole unbeliever, and when I correct you that you should wear hijab and dignify yourself and take on the uniform of a believer, you tell me you should lower your gaze. Well, that's not the problem. When people go before the qadi, they go before the judge accused of zina. Okay? They go before the judge accused of fornication or adultery. The judge says, did you see it? The judge doesn't punish you if you saw it, because the eyes see things. Okay? The judge say, did you see it? He don't say you get 100 lashes for seeing it. It doesn't work like that. He don't even give you tazir, which is less than 100. Okay? The judge said, did you see it? He wants to know, did you see the pen going to the inkwell? Did you see the penis, the head of the penis minimally disappear into the vagina? Disappear into the labia majora or minora, I'm not sure. But if the head disappears, that's considered jima', that's considered intercourse. Okay? Now, he asks, did you see it? If you say, yes, I saw it, then you count as one witness. It's not, oh, you saw it, huh? You get over there to the left. I'll punish you later. That's not the way it works. So stop saying if you're not in hijab, brothers need to lower their gaze. That's stupid. Literally stupid. Okay? Those two are not exclusive. I'm saying they are complementary. You're supposed to cover yourself so you're not enticing me to do something haram, which you get a double sin for. Because not only you're doing haram by not covering, you're influencing the haram. Okay? That's just what it is. That's just what it is. So it's complementary, and stop stop acting like me lowering my gaze is the alternative to you covering. We're two individuals. Allah commanded us both. Allah prohibited us both in matters. Okay? So that's what I wanted to say on that. That's all I have on lowering the gaze. It's very important to do so. May Allah Ta'ala strengthen us and give us the discipline to do so. And I seek refuge with Allah from erectile dysfunction, being desensitized, uh, desiring extremes past what He has made halal. And I pray that Allah Ta'ala gives it to you all as well. Now let's move on to the delusional dating profile of the week. Let me scoot over this way. We have with us Trey or Try. I don't know what her name is. Trey. Okay. And this one is kind of subtle, so you may not catch the delusion right off, but we're going to go into it real quick. Try or Trey, whatever, is 53, same age as me. Okay. She says, old fashioned, please no married men, players, or disrespectful people. Okay. And she's a kafir, so you don't expect. Well, I mean, Muslims are against it too, a lot of them, but nevertheless, she's kafir, so this is. I'm not finding anything wrong with what she just said. Okay, only thing that she, in her perspective, she considered disrespectful for a married man to approach her. So I can't even clap back on that. Okay, so old fashioned, please no married men, players, or disrespectful people. Okay, why is it so dang hard to find a decent man? Okay, now this is where I start pushing back. Why is it so hard to find a decent man? Actually, it's not as hard as you would think if you were a decent woman. I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying that decent women is not as hard because you can marry that married man that you just denied in your first sentence. The second phrasing of your first sentence, you denied the married man. So now you can't find a decent man because you're limiting yourself. So that's just a note to make for Trey or Try, whatever her name is. Okay. Lord. Okay. Lord, enlighten me. Okay. I want no drama. Well, life is fitna itself. Life is a fitna. We have mosquitoes, we have roaches, we got mice, we got snakes, we got spiders. Life, we got sickness, we got fatigue, we got exhaustion, we got hunger, thirst. That's called life. We got sickness. Okay. So all that is called life. So she's saying that I want no drama. Well, drama is part of life. Drama is part of life. But again, kafir, so we're not going to lean too hard. Keep it real or keep it moving. Okay. Keep it real or keep it moving. Now, women don't want honesty, and we'll talk about that next week. Okay. Women don't want honesty. They're not built for honesty. Okay. They're not built for honesty, and we'll talk about that. This app this is the Facebook dating. This app makes a person bitter for real. Now, let's talk about that. Why does this app, this Facebook dating app, make women bitter? I'm going to tell you why. Again, she has denied married men, so therefore she has limited the pool of individuals that may want to marry her, may take her seriously. Okay, she has limited the pool. Okay, now she's saying that this app makes a person bitter for real. Now, the reason they become bitter, why? Because they're doing the work of men. For a woman to be on a dating app, believe me, is very masculine. Because her dad is supposed to be looking for her. Her uncles, her brother, her older son, that's Balik, that's mature, should be looking for her. She should not be doing the footwork to find a man. She should not. So it's going to make you bitter because you're doing the work of a man. Women that take jobs that should be strictly for men become bitter in those jobs. It starts to affect their natures. It starts to corrupt and disrupt their natures. It's not It's not right. It's not right. Okay. So nevertheless, it's going to make you bitter because you're out of pocket. You're out of nature and you're out of pocket. Okay. On all fake wannabes. Okay. This app makes a person bitter for real on all the fake wannabes. So these are fake wannabes is what she's calling them, because it's the wali or the wakil's job to filter men, to vet men. A woman can't vet a man. A woman cannot vet a man. So I don't care if there's the Hanafi school of thought says a woman that's been previously married, Ayyub or Thayyib, previously married or divorced, they can represent themselves without a wali. As far as marriage, they don't cease to become a woman. It's still a woman. She happened to be a divorced or widowed woman. She still can't vet men. And if a woman can represent herself, then why can't she represent her daughter? So a woman that's been divorced or widowed, why can't she represent her daughter if she can represent herself? Women cannot vet men. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. It's a fatwa, but it's a mistake, and it seems to contradict what we understand about Islam by necessity. Okay. Ayub says, facts. Women aren't ready for honesty. How does the song go? Tell me lies, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. Yep. That's their nature. That's why Muhammad SAW said, and I'll mention it again. He said that it is lawful for you to lie to your wife in order to make her happy. It's lawful. And they say it's also lawful for a wife to lie to her husband to make him happy. Those lies have to be limited to some mundane, mediocre type stuff. Or unless you're protecting your honor, that's a lie that's not written down as a lie by the angels. If you're protecting your honor or protecting or keeping two Muslims from, going at it, so on and so forth. There's other things, al-harbu khud'a, war is deception, so you can lie during war, things like that, So anyway, nevertheless, continuing, she called them fake wannabes. Well, men vet men. Women can't vet men. It's impossible. Okay. So lastly, she says, show me one decent, heartfelt gentleman on here. One. She hasn't met any. Okay. She hasn't met any. I'm going to tell you something about yourself. You're an occasional drinker. Okay. Not everybody wants an alcoholic. Okay. And you smoke often. Why don't you make yourself desirable? You done eliminated all the married men. Because if a man is married, he's already vetted. A married man is vetted. You can see if he's taking care of his family. You can see if he's taking care of his wife. You can see if he's taking care of his kids. You can see if he provides for his home. He's already vetted. He's already in motion. There's a certain place in Africa that older white women go to. And I know there's certain places they go to just to have sex with African dudes. Or old white women that are like, I don't want to say that. But anyway, so what happens is that they go to this island to have sex with dudes. I'm talking about that one. I'm talking about they go to certain places in Africa looking for husbands. They will only marry married men. Those white women. Those white women go to a certain place in Africa. I forget the name. They only marry married men because he's already vetted. He's already vetted. That's their logic. Their logic is he's already vetted. He's already doing the work. So she eliminated all married men. So that shrinks her pool of potential suitors. Okay. Now she's saying, show me one decent, heartfelt gentleman on here. One. Okay, well, you done eliminated most of them. Okay, now look at this. She smokes often. Ain't nobody want that smell around there, man. Who going to kiss you? Who going to kiss you? You smoke often. I don't care if it's marijuana, cigarettes. I don't care what it is, cigars. Nobody want that. Okay, and I say nobody. I mean a very, very small percentage of people actually will go for that. So those are called nobody. Okay. Yeah, we don't want that. You drink and you smoke often. So why don't you make yourself something desired? That's why I said, uh, sheikhs are telling sisters you can have, as far as mahar or sadaq, dowry, which is really not dowry, it's the best English word we have, marriage gift. Uh, that's best single phrase that we have. But a dowry is actually given from a woman to a man, but nevertheless. So sheikhs are telling women you can have whatever dowry you desire, but they never tell women become desirable. They never tell women become desirable, therefore you can have any dowry that you like. That's the missing part. You have yet to and you have not become desirable. So stop asking for whatever you desire. This woman is not desirable. She smokes and she drinks. She smokes and she drinks. She's way past the wall. Okay. She can't do nothing but call you and tell you about how her feet hurt. Call you, tell you about that bad shoulder she got. Tell you how she couldn't sleep last night because of a gout, or I don't even know what gout is. Gout or what's that? Whatever else, sciatica or whatever. That's all she can do is complain to you. Okay. Alhamdulillah, I'm a healthy 53. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Bidnihi. I'm a healthy 53. Pray Allah Ta'ala gives me a lot of health. I don't want to die in my sleep. So, hopefully it's something, beneficial. Nevertheless, yeah, but she's not even making herself desirable. It just complain. What about you? Tell me something about yourself. Oh, I got kids. Okay. I'm spiritual. All right. Let me see. What else about you? Let me see if I can find something else. I'm 5'8". I speak English. I'm from St. Pete Beach, Florida. Okay. I drink occasionally and I smoke often. There is nothing. There is nothing there. Read it for yourself. There's nothing there that's attractive. There's nothing there that makes a man say, click, swipe, whatever. There's nothing there. And I didn't see, I don't be saving their pictures because I'll start roasting. I'll roast them. If I save their pictures, I'll roast them. Okay, so I didn't save the picture. I don't know what she looks like. I don't remember what she looks like. And I don't remember her health, or if she looks healthy or not. And healthy, I don't mean healthy big. I mean healthy as in normal weight, normal human natural weight, not normal hippopotamus, weight, or normal young elephant weight. I'm talking about, I don't remember any of that, but I'm just going purely off the profile. She's not desirable. She's not desirable. Okay? She is not desirable. Nevertheless, that's all that I have for the delusional dating profile of the week and for the whole X Factly show for that matter. I pray Allah Ta'ala said something that benefited or even made you giggle. Benefited or even made you giggle. And Sister Aisha Eddie, this is not a quote unquote dawah show, although you can learn certain things from it. It's dealing with relationships and the problems that we have relationship wise between men and women these days, okay? So if there's something about Islam you wanted to learn, I would happily provide that information for you and to you. But this show is strictly dealing with relationships and the problems that we as men and women are having with each other coming together, inshallah ta'ala. Anyway, this has been your brother Saad Imam for X Factly. See you next week, inshallah ta'ala. Let me see. Sister says, I want to learn more, inshallah. You can shoot me a DM. I don't believe that DMs are being alone with a woman. I've been alone with a woman before. Not a DM. Anyway, yeah, you can shoot me a DM or address me publicly. It's up to you. And we'll talk about it, inshallah ta'ala. All right, that's all that I have. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.